Hello friends, welcome to my session that is expression of mind or journey of expression. I took 12 sessions and during that session I tried my level best to connect with you through mind to mind. And this kind of unique dissemination process where you will understand how the things govern at unit level, molecular level and macro level. So, in this journey I decided to depict on brain system. A few words I would like to share with you, giving my own instance. When I was child, my thought process was undergoing in a very dilemmatic way. I was not understanding what is happening and sitting alone and thinking and thinking and sometimes trying to express. But I was little bit confused how to connect to the people, how to express myself. That is the main problem with all the you can say intact factors associated to mind and its stimuli. Those are very much you can say destiny based. How a brain perceives, that is very important. How brain perceives the signals, that is very important. So today's topic I have chosen understanding brain functionality. This is very serious topic because you must be knowing brain is the master of body. If I say body, then you can say, you can name any entity, whether it is country, a world, globe or universe. So this universe is very much proportional to this brain and its structure and function. So with the advent of the technology, people researchers are trying their best to understand its structural orientation first. So as you can see, this brain looks very much dynamic and this brain is being approximated with the advent of technologies. Different technologies are trying to understand its structure, its neurons and synapses, information processing, memory and learning, emotional regulation, motor control, homeostasis. So you can see these 7 parameters are very linked, and of course these are the beneficiaries of this particular shape. And the different functional MRI means magnetic resonance imaging system, fluorescence calcium imaging system, electric imaging system, ECOG system, magnetic electrophoretic mass electrophoretic. So many technological advances have come into the picture and try to understand with the different angles, that is mind. So the human brain functions as a complex organ that processes information, controls bodily functions and enables cognition, emotions, behavior, etc. And in the simplified breakdown process, if you see, then you find its structure is very interesting. The brain consists of various regions, including the cerebrum, that is responsible for higher functions like thinking and movement. The cerebellum means it is coordinate and balanced with the body and the external factors. And the brainstem, of course, basic life functions like breathing and heart rate. So you can understand how its structural orientations are controlling the entire body system with its specific signal mechanism and the you can say controlling mechanism. Number 2, its part is neurons and synapses. The brain contains billions of neurons. Of course, people are claiming trillion and infinite neurons. Of course, it is a wear and tear process, and which communicate through electrical impulses and chemical signals at junctions called synapses. That is why these kind of events are possible, because these mechanism based on the instrumentation facility is nothing if nature is not allowing to decode. So nature is given the kind of the provision, so that is why these kind of the emphases are coming and people are understanding at the decimal percentile level. So this network allows for rapid information processing. It is very significant. Information processing, number third, of course, when you precise or perceive something, your brain perceives something like sound or light. These are very important significant signals. Those are coming from the external side, and your sensory organs like eyes, like pinna, they are getting vibrant, and of course information is sent to specific brain areas for interpretation. So it is a very highly programmed, in the highly programmed way. For example, the visual cortex processes visual information. It's highly specific and well destined. Memory and learning, the brain encodes experiences into memories primarily in the hippocampus and other related structures. Learning involves strengthening the connections between neurons. So that is the memory and learning. How complex it is, you can understand. Then, but it is very much quick. It happens. That is why you can understand the strength of the memory, and of course, which is very much embedded in the structural shape. And number fifth is the emotional regulation. That is very complex. The limbing system. Of course, this emotional regulation system is governed by the particular chamber that is known as the limbing system, including structures like the amygdala and hippocampus plays a key role in our emotions and motivations, influencing behavior and decision making. Somehow the neurotonic systems are very much linked with the endocrine system, where hormonal balance are very important. So that's brain somehow controlling the secretion of the hormones through the gland process. So that is why this motor control comes on the top. The motor cortex initiates movement, while the cerebrum and basal ganglia helps refine and coordinate those movements. That is very important. So in order to accord and record, I stepped. Just in order to accord and record, you must have heard, and of course I would like to give you the basic, you can say evolutionary milestones. To 400 million years back, 400 million years back, you can understand, human being had the kind of the options. Whether brain is saying, I have to go towards the herbivores or towards the carnivores. You can say the biggest macro level of the body is the elephant. Elephant, the biggest organism, you can say, in the world. Then dinosaur. Dinosaur is very much, you can say, eliminated from the world. So what is the reason behind that? Because the complexities. Elephant is having the biggest gut, and that is why it can afford the digestibility of the complex, you can say, substrates like cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin, all these things. And then of course, so that is why I mean to say, human body and the brain, between these two things, so many partners are there, intermediates are there. I will come up with one by one, and I will unfurl, I will you can say disclose the facts, how it happens. Of course, these are well documented with the research process, and number of researchers are working on this kind of mechanism. So how human mind defines, that is very important and very interesting facts. See, you can see the cognition means recognition, perception. It establishes the cognition mechanism with the external factors. Of course, nature releasing infinite signals, but of course specific receptors are giving the cognition mechanism. And then attentions. Once it perceives, when it realizes, then establishes the recognition, then of course attentions is given through the perception and knowing. So this kind of the, you can say, networking process, through the networking process, in a very structural manner, in a very functional manner. And then I'm not talking about the evolutionary mechanism right now, because brain is very much responsible based on its structure and then function, its values, then creativity. So it is happening in the very steps and very sedimented way. So things are very much proactive, means perceivable signals are being recognized over here through the attention process and then perception. Somehow something is knocking your peripheral. I'm talking about the central nervous system or peripheral nervous system. Both are integrated to each other, CNS or PNS. And then imagination and thinking. Once these layered approaches are done, or you can say flows are done in the downstream, through the downstreaming process, then brain starts to imagine the things, and then thinking is a very rigorous process. So that is why brain and mind, when these flow chart, lands with a conclusion, then the job of mind starts. So brain is a very structural unit which is very much vibrated through the minding process. So you can say the mind is the ultimate beneficiary of the brain. So the memory lies at the end, through the planning, through the language, through the problem solving. These are the specific tools. Those are very much possible at the end of this process. Now come to the very interesting fact, that is, while we sleep, the brain undergoes the subconscious stage. Means while we sleep, the brain subconsciously read the process of perceiving the last facts which I have shared with you, and then it analyzes and filters sensory inputs to alert us to potential dangers like earthquakes, like fires, blah blah, anything can happen. That is why people used to, you can say, having the sleeping memory after sleep. So it has a very interesting research, and I will come up with the specific note of this sleeping memory, how it governs and how it perpetuates after the sleeping also, so that you have the kind of the residual memory zone after flying in the sleep. Look at this picture, and this one is saying the brain can perform split-second calculations and sends electrochemical signals to our muscles, ensuring a rapid and effective response to potential dangers. Of course, Sachin Ganpat Chavan et al. It will be published by 2025. It is very much in the printing mode in the publication house, and it is very interesting fact. I found it. You can see the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous systems. These two things, how these two things are very much, you can say, interconnected or intraconnected. Biological fluids, so that you can see n number of beneficiaries or n number of proximational theories are around the brain. How a brain is being understood by the different modules. That is very important. People are having electrochemical biosensor mechanism. People are having graphene mechanism. People are having so many carbon nano-based tubes, multiple wall carbon nanotubes, then single wall carbon nanotubes. These are the kind of the instrumentations people are devising to understand the brain and its functionality at the neuron level, of course, and then concluding the things, approaching the things with the through the neuron and neurogenic processes, and of course brain giving the commands, at the different level, and of course our body system is having the kind of the fluid mosaic systems like saliva, like blood, like plasma, tear, n number of the significances are there post eventuality of the thought process, and that is being captured by these instrumentations like electrochemical biosensor, nanotechnological instruments, transistors. So people have the you can say capturing mechanism, evolved the capturing you can say mechanism and understandings, and this theory has been started. This neurotonic mechanism started since 1984 and understood how this serotonin is happening. This serotonin is the key molecule, and that has been coined in 1948. Serum increase tone means tonin, serotonin in blood vessels. It means depending upon the situations and the conditions. So in summary, you can see the discovery of serotonin was sparked advancement in technological aim at understanding its critical role in neuromodulation and its connection to behavior, which is essential for diagnosing and treating serotonergic disorders. So you can have the take home message, that is the serotonergic disorders. Discovery of serotonin is very significant, and this serotonin is giving you leads to reach the capacity of brain. So the recent progress in electrochemical and optical biosensors, particularly those utilizing nanomaterials like carbon nanotubes, you have seen. So these improvements facilitate real-time monitoring of serotonin level, and of course this is the vital parameter to have the proximity with the brain and its structure and function with the body languages. Then you can see different type of examples. Of course you can have your pilot projects with the fight or flight. You can have your own body language in the you can say example, and of course for example if you are in the fear, it triggers a physiological fight or flight response, enhancing our natural physical processes. So this kind of the things, sometime if people are under very much threat, then secreting urine, or and of course sometimes it is very much slow, sometimes it is very much stoppable, oxygen level is so everything in hormonal secretion imbalances, digestive systems gets upset, and number of things can happen, and this is the ultimate signaling mechanism at the end of any thought process. So for example, this mechanism surface enhanced Raman scattering nanosensing and imaging. So Raman spectra is very peculiar in this particular world, in the spectra world, and people are having this kind of facility to understand the human and to map the brain through this surface enhanced Raman scattering nanosensing and imaging in neurosciences by stroke, giving the brain tumors, traumatic brain injuries, neurodegenerative diseases. So this kind of technique facility, here I am just trying to summarize this particular session, that this brain and its functionality is totally depending upon its structure and its fluid mosaic system, its fluidities. So how much your brain is robust, how much your brain is charged, and how much your brain is consuming your energy. That is why the next talk I would like to have on the basis of the gut microbiota and your neurotonic motors, how these two things are dependent to each other. So how you will make yourself very much healthy physically and mentally both. So thank you so much for your kind attention. Please subscribe my channel and keep doing the feedback through your intelligent mind. Thank you so much.